The US Supreme Court has refused to block a Texas law banning abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy, the country's most far-reaching curb on abortions in half a century. The Texas law, signed by the Republican governor Greg Abbott in May, prohibits abortions once medical professionals can detect a fetal heartbeat, usually at about 6 weeks, and before most women even know that they are pregnant. That and other topics now with political and women's rights activist Dr. Shola and also our US political commentator Scottie. Hello to you both. Thank you for joining us on the programme this morning, ladies. Let's start with that abortion rule, because for a lot of women in the UK, it's unfathomable. Scottie, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is it's not that this is reducing Roe versus Wade, as a lot of pro-abortion advocates have made. It just simply says once a heartbeat is felt, which is what majority of those of faith believe, that that's when that life begins, you cannot murder the baby, which is usually around 5 to 6 weeks. There are exceptions within that rule. That includes rape. That includes places where the mother's life is in danger. It's like any other pro-life stance. It's just in this case, this is the first government, this is the first state that's actually put this restriction. And like I said, it's 5 to 6 weeks. By then, most women, especially if they have been in an emergency situation like a rape or a place, they have kept track of what is going on and realize that there is something going on with their body and can receive the proper medical attention. That, I think, this has just been a big ordeal made, because I think there's a lot of pro-choice people that are very much afraid that the Roe versus Wade is being reversed, and that's not what this law does.
Okay, so that's categorically, unequivocally wrong. This
heartbeat bill. Why they call it a heartbeat bill? What's wrong with that?
Speaking, Scottie. So this bill is totally anti-choice. It is not pro-life. This bill is just another example of more fundamental Christian extremists trying to force their views on other people. This bill has zero exceptions, which is why Greg Abbott said, well, women, don't worry about it because we're going to eliminate rape. It has no exceptions for rape. And that statement he made about eliminating rape by getting rid of every rapist on the street is so obtuse and speaks to the rape culture that this Republican Party is absolutely promoting. So let us be clear. This bill, it does overturn Roe v. Wade. It is now encouraging other states in the United States to do the same, other Republican states to do the same. This bill is purely about controlling women's bodies. This bill is purely about blaming women and making them carry the burden that men have. It doesn't recognize that men have a role to play here. Why is there not?
See how angry you are about it? It's 6 weeks. It's not from the first week. It's from 6 weeks, the time that you feel a heartbeat. And by then, if you are raped, you will know in 6 weeks whether or not you're pregnant or not. You are paying attention to what is going on. And this is advocating for the life of the baby, a female baby. So this is advocating for life.
Get to tell.
That's absolutely false what you're saying.
Dr. Shola, answer if you wouldn't mind, please, Scottie. Dr. Shola, go on.
Scottie, you don't get to tell other women that they should know what's going on with their bodies. With my first child, I didn't know I was pregnant until I was 4 months pregnant. That doesn't mean I wasn't paying attention. It just means our bodies react and behave differently with pregnancies. You don't take that choice away. And 6 weeks is not 6 weeks. You should know that. You know how the menstrual cycle works. You know for a fact that for some women, it's regular, it's irregular. At some point in time, it reduces. So no, it is not 6 weeks. Women have and should have total control of their bodies and should determine as and when they want to have children. If you want to talk about controlling and stopping abortions, then why don't you focus on men? Why don't we mandate that men have vasectomies, which can be reversed? Why don't we put the blame and burden on men?
Let Scottie come in, please. Shola, Scottie, go on.
Well, and this is where I think you see the both ways. I have no problem. Let's talk about having male health. Let's start having those conversations about actually putting the priorities. But here's where the hypocrisy in the situation is, because at the same time, my body, my choice. And yet these same people are the ones that are actually here in America saying, you don't get any sort of care if you've not been vaccinated. You don't have a body or a choice when it comes to vaccines. But by golly, when it comes to actually killing a life after their heart is beating, that's all the woman's choice. Who gives that baby the choice? And if you are in an emergency situation like a rape, I guarantee you are watching what is going on with your body. You are making sure. I guarantee you're not just going to ignore your own health concerns for 6 weeks.
I'm sorry, I cannot guarantee anything of the sort. And this is you can't guarantee anything of the sort. And this is this is the issue. When women like you, Scottie, back these kind of indefensible bills, all you're doing is making it harder for other women to actually exercise their own free will. You don't get to tell another woman you should know what's going on with their body, because their body will tell them, and they will know as and when their situation arises. It should be between them and their medical practitioner. It is not for you to point fingers at them. It is not for you to say to them, well, you should know. Well, to have 6 weeks, it's wrong.
Who speaks on behalf of their life? Once their heart is beating, who speaks on behalf of them? Who did they not get to say whether they get to live or not? Ask them. I guarantee they won't live. And
once this child, once his baby, once his fetus, you
hold on a second, ladies. Don't talk over each other because we can't hear what both of you are saying. Scottie, you go.
I think that is the contrary. You have passions on both sides, but the fact is, this did not overturn Roe versus Wade. Plus, Roe versus Wade was not a part of the Constitution. It was a Supreme Court decision, just like how the Supreme Court decided, because this had gone through the legislative process correctly, that they could not overturn the legislative bill in Texas. So once again, this is not something that was a part of an amendment. This is not a part of a law. This is a Supreme Court decision, and the Supreme Court upheld what the Texas legislature did because it went through the process. Whether you agree with the outcome or not, it followed the rule of law.
Okay, Doctor, final word from you.
This was a Republican agenda from the start. And can I just correct you here and tell you again that this does overturn Roe v. Wade? Thank you for the concern for the fetus. But once that fetus is a born child, are you feeding that child? Are you supporting that child? Are you supporting the mother? Or as we've seen with Republicans, you're ready and happy for the mother and child to stew in poverty, in inequality, in injustice, all kinds of things. But right now, it's all about the fetus. And I'm saying that the hypocrisy is just profound. You have to leave women with their right, their fundamental right, to decide for themselves should they wish to birth a child, because they will be the ones to take care of that child.
Okay, we are out of time, ladies, but I must just let you come back on that point, Scottie, very quickly, please.
Well, it's very selective. Once again, my body, my choice, only when it in regards to one issue, not across the board. I think that's where the hypocrisy exists on this issue. Once again, it's whether you believe it's a baby when the heart is beating or if it's just some sort of fetus, like a piece of tissue. Two ways of looking at it.
Ladies, very emotive subject for both men and women alike. Thank you for joining us on the programme this morning. It's always great to see you both. Thank you.